I got a guitar amp, a used one, that had casters installed. The casters they're pretty nice. They're hard plastic. The old school, made in USA. I'm going to keep them. I did clean them up a little bit and lube the ball bearings and stuff, but the fasteners that they used, which I don't have a choice now, the holes are there and stuff, but they're just way too long, as you can see. So there's 16 of them, and I'm gonna cut them down. So I'll show you how I'm gonna do that and make it sweet, quick and easy. So I just made a little flag out of this blue tape here, and that's going to be about the depth. I'm not going to washer the side. It doesn't need it. This is a pretty thick plate here. I just don't feel the need to washer this. So it's going to be about the depth that I'm going to use. I'm going to run these screws into pilot holes in some stock, and then I'm going to cut them off. So I'm going to be looking for a piece of wood stock that I can drill into, and it's going to be about this thick. There's a piece of, it's like 1 by 2 1/4, 1 by 2 1/2. That is going to be absolutely perfect for this. Well, obviously there's going to be 16 holes, and I just marked out a pattern on this piece of stock that I'm going to use to hold the screws. Just a basic pattern of pilot holes to hold the screws while I'm cutting them, and you can tell I like to cut things over a trash can. It just keeps everything in the trash. I don't have to vacuum or sweep anything up. So fortunately I have a nice stable old farm can here, bucket, and it's been through a lot, as you can tell, but that's the way to do it. And I'm going to be having this bucket under the screws while I'm cutting them. And just holding the board down onto the bucket like this, and then using my screw gun to put the screws in this pattern. For those that don't have a swiveling or tilting vise, you'd probably set it up like this, with the board in vise jaws like this, and then you're gonna cut this way. My finger, hello. Cut this way, and then have all the stuff drop into a bucket or a pan or whatever. If you have a trash can, I suppose you could bring it up like that, but that's kind of the angle for you there on that. Since I have a swiveling and tilting vise, I'm going to have them set up like this so I can have the fence of the reciprocating saw up and down this side, and make the blade will cut down like this. It's all going to fall into my can below. So if you don't have a vise like this, you're just going to have to look at it and map it out. Maybe you'll just have to think about where everything's going to fall and how you can best hold the saw while you're cutting. That's the two critical things here, because we're just going to be cutting this way. Standard 24 tooth bimetal reciprocating saw blade. That's what I use. If you have something else, I'm sure it's going to work with less teeth or more, but that's what I'm going to be using here. Pretty much it. When they're done being cut, I will change one thing next time I do this, and that's just to use a new blade, but I wanted to use that one up. It took about 2 minutes, maybe. It would take a lot less time if the blade were new. I'm probably not gonna dress these ends too much. The holes that I'm gonna have these screws going into are already well established, so unless I see some real wide ends or something like that, I'm probably gonna leave these. Anyway, I may come back and follow up for a second on that. So I'll pull these out and show you what they look like. If there's a lot of you know, debris on the ends of these, like cut pieces of metal and stuff that I think won't go into the holes, that they won't thread properly. I may dress them on a bench grinder. So there was a little bit more flash at the end of these screws than I would have liked to have seen. Some, you know, sharp edges where the cut was, drawing the metal out. And so I just took my bench grinder, you can hear it slowing down, and just smoothed them out a little bit. And like I said, the holes that I'm going to be using are already established, so I'm not too concerned with how they're going to thread in. But anyway, that probably took, man, I don't know, like 2 minutes or less to just to dress the ends of each one of these screws. And I think a lot of the flash was due to the fact that they're thick, so there was more metal to bring out as the blade went through there and stuff. So I don't think I've really seen that much with a smaller diameter screw. But anyway, there that is. And anyway, if you have to cut a lot of screws to a certain length at some point, maybe this video will help you out. This is kind of a nerdy thing, but I just dumped my trash can into this grocery bag that contains all these screw ends. We have a public trash service, so they come and dump stuff from a bin into the trash truck, and I don't like the idea of this stuff being in the road and bouncing out and stuff, so I just contained it in here. I'm going to wrap this all in a nice little ball, and that way it's going to be all contained. This is something I showed in the video that I didn't explain very well. This is a, I think this is a candle holder, but it's got a real strong magnet in here. And I wiped it out so I could show you, but anyway, yeah, it's glass. And this tray here, I guess, is aluminum, and there's some kind of a really powerful magnet in here. But when I have little fasteners, boy, this sure does hold them. I love it. So I don't know, whatever it is, if you can see one. I'm pretty sure somebody told me it was a candle holder. So anyway, enjoy, everybody.